Shree Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Apinamakshuruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Vibhratim Saumyam Ratna Gadasta Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. Welcome to all for this session on Lalitopakhyanam. Let us now start listening to the story of Sati and Shiva and what happened between them. As Sati Devi visits Daksha Yagna, the Yagna performed by her father Daksha Brahma, the bearer of crescent moon Lord Shiva was seated on Kailasa with his spouse Sati Devi, daughter of Daksha Prajapathi. They were surrounded by devotees like Nandi, Ringi, Mahakala, and chiefs of the Rudraganas, as also Sananda and other Yogindras. While they were all happily contented and in this great peace, Lord Shiva was intent on pleasing his beloved spouse Sati Devi, who he felt would soon be separated from him. All of a sudden, Sati Devi was surprised to hear noises in the firmament. Looking up, she beheld vast retinues of devatas wending their way jubilantly in the direction of her father Daksha's abode. She hastily sent a Gananayaka to find the cause of all this bustle and movement. In no time, the Gananatha returned and saluting her said, O mother, thy father, the great Daksha Prajapati is beginning a great yagna, and these devas and devatas have all been invited to participate in it. In response to his invitation, they are all hastening thither, accompanied by all their retinues and armies. Sati Devi was filled with joy at her father performing such a great yagna involving the rulers of the three worlds. So she said to her lord in great haste, O Lord, my father is performing a great yagna at which all my relatives and family members are sure to be present. This will be a golden opportunity for me to meet them all and to visit my beloved mother too. My sisters and their children will also be there. O Lord, let me go. After meeting them all, I shall return forthwith. However, Lord Shiva smiled and spoke sweetly to his spouse, who had been overcome by moha at the thought of seeing all her near and dear. O Devi, it is not good for you to visit your father's house now. I shall tell you why. It is my nature to grant the earnest desires of all my devotees. I even remove obstacles from their path and put an end to all their miseries. O beloved, bound to truth and wisdom, I always act without any tinge of selfish interest. I do my duty as one of the overlords of the world. There is no reason why I should work for my own gain, for what lack I no desire fascinates me. I am not attached to anything with moha. I am untouched by all, for I revel ever in Atma, ever immersed in the Atmic bliss. I move among my bhaktas seeking their welfare. Once the hosts of devatas, full of devotion to me, came to pay their respect to me, and with them was your father, while all the devas humbly joined their palms saluting me. Your father did not do so, as I was his son in law. Yet, while receiving all the devas and inquiring after their welfare, I lovingly asked your father also, respecting him as a father in law, but desisted from saluting him, for I see not in the three worlds that should be because Shiva need not have to salute Daksha Brahma. In the three worlds that should be saluted by me, your father took umbrage at this omission and became very angry, giving way to wrath and unable to control himself. He raged at me and reviled me to his heart's content. Then, with reddened face and bloodshot eyes, filled with hate and spite, he left my presence abruptly and returned home. It was only then that I witnessed the baser side of his self, which still seems to hold sway over him. He has, in consequence, vowed never more to see you or me, much less to invite us. He now intends to perform the yagna without my presence and with such devatas as will, in their greed or fear, cooperate with him in spite of my absence. My advice to you is not to visit him now. Only evil shall befall this yagna. If you still insist on going, you are at perfect liberty to do so as you will, and I shall not restrain you. But you know my mind, and remember that what I have just told you. Hearing her lord speak thus, Daksha's putri, Dakshayani replied, O Lord of the worlds, what thou hast just revealed to me makes me all the more eager to visit my father so that I may open his eyes to great to your greatness and majesty and save him from impending destruction. I shall reason and plead with him and win his heart back to you and me. If he persist in his ignorance and will not desist from vile slander of thee, then who alone shall betide me him? His obstinacy can only ruin his yagna. It cannot affect you who art beyond all stain and ever pure. I shall counsel himself to treat you with respect and invite you to the yagna with all due reverence. I see my father about to be hurried down the deep abyss of moha and krodha to his own undoing. It is my duty as his daughter to prevent his downfall and to save him before it be too late. He does not realize how now the magnitude of your greatness or might. Thou art like a glowing ember hidden by a covering of ash. Thy outward appearances has hidden your that means your outward appearances has hidden your real self from his unperceiving eyes. I have tasted your magnificence, and it is up to me to make him realize it too. Hence I thee beseech him to graciously accept my prayer, O Lord, and grant me leave to proceed forthwith on my mission. Foreseeing the outcome of her hasty action, Parameshwara remained silently contemplative. But Sati Devi took his silence for acquiescence and prepared to leave for her father's home, beholding their holy mother making preparations to leave. The following chieftains and their retinue also made haste to accompany her: Mahakala, Mahakanta, Gantakarna, Kapali, Kumbhodara, Nikumbha, Midag ಮಣಿಗ್ರೀವ ಮೃಗಂತಕ ಊರ್ಧ್ವಕೇಶ ಕೇತುಮಾಲಿ ತಂದು ಮ- ಮಕರಲೋಚನ ಸೋಮಕ ನೀಲಬಾಹು ಭೈರವ ಕಾಲಭೈರವ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಭೈರವ ಉಚ್- ಉಚ್ಚಾಸ್ಯ ಉದ್ಧತ ವಿಶ್ವ Vishwaghasmara, Alarka, Simhaketu, Maniman, Manikandhara, and other chiefs of Pramathaganas. Probably some names I might have misspelled it. They brought out the golden gem-studded chariot which could move with the speed of mind. Seated on this celestial chariot, Sati Devi traveled through the firmament surrounded by singing apsaras, chanting devaganas and siddhacharanas, and all her beautiful and charming handmaids ready to minister unto her every need and every one trying to amuse her. The chariot passed over the clouds with tinkling bells, soaring above many snow-tipped peaks of the Himalayas. As she moved through the clouds and began to descend to earth, Sati Devi noticed many an ill omen. The birds began to soar towards the disk of the sun, wailing for sheer inability to reach it. Her right eyelid began to quiver. The wind god began to blow confusedly in all directions. Smoke began to cover up and hide the beauty of the surrounding country by making it murky and obscure. Noticing these and other forebodings of evil, Sati Devi feared the consequences of her self imposed mission. She soon arrived at her father's abode. There she beheld the magnificent assembly of many splendid devas, rishis, and other guests. She saw her mother's sister and all near and dear relatives. Among the throng composed of Brahma, Vishnu, Indra, Dikpalakas, Prajapatis, and Siddhas, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, she beheld Saraswati, Sachi Devi, Swaha Devi, and the spouses of other Dikpalakas, as also many Apsara damsels. She saw the many vessels and articles in readiness for the yagna, with the assisting dvijas and ritvikas. She heard the chanting of mantras vibrating in all directions, filling the air with swahakaras and vashatkaras, and resounding with stotras and anuvakas and recitals of rig, sama, and other Vedic hymns and mantras. Deeply impressed by all these preparations, Sati Devi stepped into the busy enclosure flanked on either side by her adoring and loving handmaids. Thus, in this story, we have seen in the beginning, while Sati Devi was sitting on the lap of Shankara, she saw a host of gods and goddesses, all the devatas and devis. They were rushing to the yagna being performed by her father, Daksha Prajapati. Naturally, being a daughter, with the having the moha of meeting her near and dear ones, she was interested to go and attend the yagna. However, Shiva told her the reason that had brought an enmity for Daksha Prajapati towards Shiva, wherein he was under the impression that Shiva has neglected him and not did a proper namaskara to him, though Shiva is the Lord of the entire world. Whereas at the same time, Dakshayani, the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, wife of Shiva, Sati, she tried to convince Shiva, saying that she will still attend the yagna and will convince her father regarding the greatness of Shiva, so that his yagna, where Shiva is not being invited, Shankara being not invited, the yagna certainly will going to lead to destruction. So she will try everything to avoid her father from getting deep into the problem, deep into the abysmal. So, with that self imposed mission, she left Shiva, Shankara, and went, even though Daksha, her father, had not invited both the couples. And then, while on the way to the Yagna, she had many bad omens which really scared her. Yet she was firm on her mission to convince her father regarding the greatness of Shiva. Let us see what is going to happen during the Yagna. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.